Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you started reading something and realized 5 minutes later, you have no idea what you just read. Maybe you feel like your brain is moving through thick fog all day long. And you go to the doctor, you run the labs, and they tell you, great news, everything looks normal. But what if the real reason your brain feels foggy has nothing to do with your brain at all? Today I want to show you a case study of a client who struggled with severe brain fog for years, and the hidden problem we eventually discovered that almost no one had looked for. Before we get into the story, see if any of this sounds familiar. Brain fog can look like difficulty concentrating, forgetting simple things, slow thinking, feeling mentally drained, reading the same sentence over and over, struggling to find words in conversation. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And what I'm about to show you explains why this happens to so many people. This client came to me after struggling with brain fog for several years. She had already tried a long list of things. She'd done diet changes, gut protocols, thyroid support, detox supplements, adrenal support, anti-inflammatory protocols. Some of those things even helped slightly, but the brain fog never truly went away. She described it like this: I feel like my brain just doesn't turn on anymore. She was forgetting appointments. She had trouble concentrating when reading. Even simple conversations started to feel mentally exhausting. And what made it even more frustrating was that her lab work looked mostly normal. So eventually she started hearing some of the very common explanations people are given when brain fog doesn't show up clearly in lab tests. Things like maybe it's just stress, otherwise known as the doctor has no idea. You might just need to sleep better. This can happen as you get older. Everything looks fine medically. But here's the problem: your brain doesn't randomly stop functioning clearly for no reason. When the brain is foggy, there's always a physiological reason behind it. And that's where we start asking a different question. Instead of asking, what disease could this be? We ask a different question. What is preventing the brain from functioning normally? Because brain fog isn't actually a diagnosis. It's just a signal that something's wrong. And signals always come from somewhere. And the clue that solved this case had nothing to do with the brain itself. It had to do with how much energy the brain was receiving. Your brain is one of the most energy demanding organs in the entire body. Even though it makes up only about 2% of your body weight, it uses roughly 20% of your body's total energy. That means if the body has trouble producing energy, the brain is usually one of the first places you're going to notice it. Symptoms of low cellular energy can include brain fog, poor concentration, memory problems, mental fatigue, difficulty focusing, feeling mentally overwhelmed. And when we evaluated this client's body, one thing stood out immediately. The systems responsible for producing cellular energy were not working properly. Specifically, the mitochondria. Mitochondria are tiny structures inside every one of your cells that produces something called ATP, which is the energy currency of the body. Think of them as the body's power plants. If those power plants are functioning well, the body has energy for repair, thinking, healing, and metabolism. But if those power plants start to struggle, the brain quickly begins to feel the effects. And that's exactly what was happening in this case. The brain itself wasn't damaged. It simply wasn't receiving enough cellular energy to function clearly. And this is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck with symptoms like brain fog for years, because conventional testing usually looks at things like blood chemistry, hormone levels, vitamin levels, inflammation markers. But those tests don't always show whether the cellular energy systems are actually working efficiently. So someone can be told everything looks normal, while their body's energy production systems are quietly struggling in the background, and it's often the case. Once we identified that the real problem was related to cellular energy production, we shifted the focus towards supporting the systems responsible for restoring that energy production. As those systems improved over time, something interesting started to happen. Her brain fog gradually lifted, her thinking became clearer, her concentration improved, And one of the things she said later stuck with me. She said, I thought I was just getting older or losing that mental sharpness. I didn't realize my brain was simply underpowered. And helping people figure out what is actually blocking recovery is the work that I spend most of my time doing. Because when someone has been stuck for years, the question usually isn't just what's wrong. The real question ends up being, why hasn't my body been able to recover yet? One thing I've learned over the years is that when someone has been struggling with symptoms like brain fog for a long time, the body is not broken. It's usually just stuck somewhere in the healing process. And part of the journey that God led me on was learning how to identify the hidden systems that can block your recovery, because when the right systems are supported in the right order, the body begins to change much faster than people even expect. If you're dealing with symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, or other chronic issues, and you're trying to understand what may be actually happening in your body, I offer an investigation called What's Wrong with My Body. It's a forensic level root cause evaluation where we take a very detailed look at the systems involved in healing to uncover the hidden roadblocks that may be preventing your recovery. If you'd like to learn more about that evaluation, you can find the link below. And if this video helped you understand brain fog a little better, make sure you subscribe. Each week I share explanations like this to help people understand why the body gets stuck and how it can begin recovering again.